Hi there, Leaf fans. Hey, you remember that time you were the first win of this streak for the Avs? Well, now you get to be the 10th win, too. Avs win over the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2. This was a high-octane game from start to finish for both teams, particularly the Leafs. They just seemed to never really let up on the Avs. Things definitely got off to a rocky start for the Avs as the Leafs were generating some grade A chances, but Bernier put the lockdown on those, and then the Avs turn it right back around on them from an unusual source. Compher's just going to dump the puck in here up the far boards, and Gabe Bourque is going to do a great job hustling in to beat everyone to the puck and win the battle. Once he does get the puck, he's just going to send it around to the near side where Jost is going to pick it up. He's just going to skate out in front and throw a shot on. It's not the greatest shot. Anderson easily saves it as it comes right to his chest, but he mishandles the rebound. It drops down right in front of him, and Bourque is ready to come clean it up as Anderson leaves his 5-hole wide open. Ah, yes, of course, the dynamic duo of Tyson Jost and Gabe Bourque. They've scored just so many points for the Avs this year. Yeah, when you combine their point totals, McKinnon has as many points as them both in the last 8 games, so not exactly expected, but hey, anything that gets Tyson Jost going, I will happily take. So for the 10th game in a row, the Avs take the lead early. The problem is after that goal, the Avs basically flatline for the next 10 minutes, hardly even generating a shot. Meanwhile, Toronto is coming on strong as they maintain puck possession often in the Avs zone for most of the first half of the period. That eventually leads to the Avs taking a penalty. To make matters worse, less than a minute into that penalty, they take another one, and it's a minute and 10 seconds of 5-on-3. Somehow, the Avs managed to weasel their way out of it with the great PK that we've been seeing, and it was good to see that kill from them as they had just given up their first PP goal in a while in the last one. As is usually the case when a team kills a 5-on-3, that swings the momentum back in the Avs' favor, and while they do get some quality chances of their own, they can't manage to beat Anderson. The Leafs also continue to push back as the period winds down, but we get into the intermission with the Avs still up 1. The start to the second period was not ideal. About 15 seconds into the second period, Johnson's going to get caught on a bit of a bad pinch here as he doesn't manage to get anything on the puck, so it just continues to slide up the far boards where Komarov picks it up. As he's coming in, he has Landeskog covering him, and Zadorov just gets caught a little bit too deep in his own zone as it's right now just a 2-on-1 defensively for the Avs. So that leaves a ton of space at the top of the zone, which Patrick Marleau gets to skate into. Komarov just drops it back. Marlowe's just going to unleash an absolute bomb here, and Zadorov does end up screening Bernier a bit, but man, that thing was in the top of the corner quick. Hard to really blame anyone on that one. Maybe Zadorov a little bit for getting too deep, maybe Johnson a little bit on that pinch, but a goal scorer is going to score goals sometimes. And that's why I score first, so goals like that don't crush you. After that early goal, we get into an adventurous second period. Both teams would get a large number of chances in this one, and we would see a couple of goals, but you really were hoping for a few more. The first chance would come just a couple minutes later where Rantanen would ring the post for the 33rd of those on the season. A few minutes after that, Toronto would score. Or would they? With the puck in the corner, Nemeth is just going to end up getting his pocket picked clean behind the net. That's going to allow Nylander to come in and pick it up. He just throws it out front. It bounces around for a while, and eventually Matthews finds it and puts it home. The Avs would challenge for goalie interference, and the eventual call would come back as a no goal. There was contact. The puck is going to come through to Matthews here. He's going to kind of fan on the shot, and it's going to bounce over to Hyman on the near side here. As the puck is bouncing around in skates over here, you do see Matthews enter the crease, and there is going to be contact between Matthews and Bernier's blocker. So there was definitely contact. Did it stop Bernier from being able to make the save? Well, it's a close one. I think it probably should have been a goal. Certainly, if it had happened to the Avs, I'd have been screaming how it was a goal. But when a call goes in your favor, you don't ask questions. You just take the gift. So the Avs streak of never trailing survives, now well over 560 minutes. Unfortunately, that would still come to an end just a bit more than a minute later. Leafs have the puck in the neutral zone. Nylander's going to actually wind it back and come all the way in on the near side while Matthews comes over to the far side. As they enter the zone, it does appear to be a clean 3-on-3. You have Nylander here on the right side covered by Comfer. Lindholm is taking Hyman, who's charging to the net. And you kind of have Nemeth in the middle here, not particularly covering anyone, but he is in the passing lane for a cross-ice pass. So how do you get around that guy in the passing lane? Well, you make a pad pass. Nylander puts a very smart shot onto Bernier's far pad here, and it bounces off perfectly right out into the slot where Matthews has beaten Bork into the rebound, and it's an easy put in for him, which he then sellies like a champ. That one I really would have liked Bernier to do a better job of controlling the rebound. Letting the puck shoot out heavily into the slot like that is just bound for disaster. Gave me nightmare flashbacks of Peter Budaj. And full credit to Matthews there as well. The best players in the league find ways to be in the right spots, and that's exactly what he did there. And I love the celebration too. I think hockey needs more of that. The usual just fist pumps and regular sellies that I see, that's not good enough. I need more Yakupov in my life. Speaking of which, why does everybody I say might need to get benched score goals? Not that I'm complaining. Just a little more than a minute than when the Avs fell behind for the first time in nearly 10 games. Andreas Borgman is going to mishandle the puck, and Alex Kerfoot is going to jump on it lickety-split. This turnover causes a 2-on-1 situation. This is Alex Kerfoot, so all Avs fans at least know that he's going to pass this puck 100% of the time. You can see Yakupov streaking in on the far side. Everybody knew it was coming. Somehow Kerfoot still manages to just slip it through, and Yakupov makes it count. Kerfoot currently sits 4th in total points on the Avs. Beyond that, of his 31 points, only 6 of those assists have not been primary. And I know he's a rookie, and he's still got a lot to learn, and I've been trying my best to avoid the comparisons to Tanguay, but as he keeps it up, it's hard not to. Yes, his shooting percentage is still ridiculous, but I'm more focused on his passing anyway. The time on ice he's been getting has been mostly 3rd line at best, and at times even 4th line, and he's still managing to produce consistently. These are the found money type of guys that you have to hit on occasionally to really build a championship contender. Of course, the Avs aren't there yet. Really, they're not even that close, but good steps in the right direction, finding guys like Kerfoot. So I was thinking we were going to see the Avs in a new situation for them being down, but they just didn't want to deal with that, I guess. So now tied 2-2, the teams would take turns dominating the possession. First the Avs, then Toronto to close out the second period. The Avs would indeed hit another post, bringing that number up to 34. So then we head into the third period, and the Avs looked a little out of their depth in it, honestly. Right from the get-go, it looked like the Avs were playing with a 2-goal lead and not a tie game, and that playstyle really wouldn't change for the entire period. Meanwhile, Toronto is just pouring it on, doing seemingly whatever they want with the puck. I mean, really, the Avs were simply just dumping it out when they could and changing, not even trying to possess the puck going forward most of the time. But still, they're weathering and weathering with Bernier as the backstop. Nothing is getting by him, and they reach the 10-minute mark. Still a tie game. But do you hear that? Off in the distance? Far away? That's the sound of trade bait. With 3 Leafs players deep in the Avs zone, maybe even a 4th, Johnson is going to make a nice play to not only eventually win this puck battle, but take it over to the other side of the rink and then make a short little chip pass up to Como to get the puck moving the right way. That leads to a 3-on-2 for the Avs, with Soderberg with the puck on the far side, Nieto in the middle, and Como coming down the near side. Because Nieto's in the middle and he does push forward a bit, that forces Dermott to stick with him, and Como beats Matthews into the zone. Not only that, but Matthews does get caught coasting a little bit here, which allows Como to get to the net uncontested. Soderberg, he knows what to do in this situation. Just throw it in, Como gets a stick on it, and the Avs have the lead. Seen the exact same thing happen to McKinnon that happened to Matthews there. Happens to everybody. Oh, and by the way, entire NHL, that guy who just scored that goal, yeah, he's available. What do you want to give us for him? Well, the turtle plan works so far, even got you a lead. Why change anything? The Avs just stick to the game plan through the rest of the third. Leafs eventually pull their goalie, and the Avs get to dump it into the empty net with the captain Landeskog getting it done. Not the prettiest win, but the first two periods were a blast. Still not sold on that third period at all, but hey, it got it done. And the big deal in this one is the depth scoring. Yes, it's a little disappointing McKinnon's point streak came to an end, but you got goals from Bork and Yakupov and Como. Not only that, you got points behind that from Comfort, Jost, Kerfoot. A lot of the other players that we haven't been seeing getting on the score sheet enough did tonight. If that goal that got called back for the Leafs ended up counting, would the game have looked different? Maybe, maybe not. If they score that goal, there's a real good chance they don't score 40 seconds later, so who knows? At this point, I'm just riding the gravy train with the Avs until we have to get off it, which might be immediately as we have the back-to-back in Montreal coming right up. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. As always, when we play the Leafs, shout out to Steve Dangle, who I'm sure made a video that is 10 times better than mine on the Leafs side of things. I'm Rudo3, and since I started doing this YouTube thing, the Avs are undefeated against the Leafs.